There we go. All set.
So we are practicing changing self for others, but we're starting with a very unique approach to it, which is developing the sort of wrathful and peaceful aspects of compassion at their most elementary or seed level. We're not, trying to imitate some external behavior or some kind of grandiose approach to that, but just very simply connecting with the basic different energies of the light and care of compassion. What we began with is what we would call the crystal prajna skull, which is we take the height, width, and depth as our basis. So we initiate that. We feel the dimensionality of our embodiment, the space between our bodily dimensions and sensation, and then we add awareness of the space above and below, to either side of us, in front and in back. This is a more thorough instruction for flashing on ultimate bodhicitta, which was always the instruction for sending and taking or exchanging self for others. One must connect with the spaciousness of ultimate bodhicitta in order to accomplish exchanging self for others. In order to practice Tonglen, that was always the instruction. However, this is a more thorough way to establish that awareness and experience. So essentially, we're practicing the fourth sub-practice of the sixth gesture. Kind of centerless space is blissful, and that blissful or well-being or good feeling is the basis of joy, of compassion. They say comes from the seed of joy, seed of well-being, in that if we can feel the beauty of being alive, we are in touch with why it is possible, we feel directly that it is possible to relieve unnecessary suffering. We have an alternative experience. Of course, that joy is also inseparable from sadness, sad joy, which we've explored in the fourth gesture and into the fifth. So this is the union of ultimate and relative bodhicitta. There are many ways that the bodhisattva protects the welfare of beings. There is a spectrum of activities. Some begin with bringing calm and regulation to others and clear thinking, clear heads prevail or cooler heads prevail. We've talked about that. So here we bring this moon that is back in the back of our skull, center slightly back towards the spine where it would be below in the central channel, and it can be quite small but mighty, a shining, cool moonlight glow on the snow. We are staying with our height, width, and depth, but we imagine this lamp of moonlight, gentle compassion is shining through the skull, and the skull is as if the light touches the bone skull of our body, and or the mental projection of having this heavy bone casing, and it transforms it into a light, very light, weightless, translucent form that looks like crystal, feels like crystallineness of the superior non-conceptual intellect that uses concepts but also surpasses concepts and can perceive directly. There's a sparkling, or we talked about, Lori brought up listening last night, how these qualities in nature, in icicles and in ice and in glass and diamond, and they always bring up and evoke a sense of clarity and natural intelligence. So in short, we rest in this light shining with a light, clear, transparent skull, and the feeling of the whole height, width, and depth of our body filled with this beautiful, gentle blue moonlight that's cooling and has a pristine kind of compassion that is precise and clear. We could have the sense that as we shine in this crystalline moonlight that's so gentle, that in fact what we're doing is we're learning. We are learning how to melt the onion-like layers of, through time, of our mental image of our own skull and our reaction to its thickness and protective quality that has become an assumption of this heaviness that our mental image, again, like an onion through time, has layers of memories that we unconsciously built this sense of solidity. And here in this practice, we could have a sense that this moonlight is melting that unconscious tightening or heaviness and solidity energetically. It's part of the compassion of its precision, also shining out to all beings, a cooling compassion so that cooler heads could prevail, that peace could arise in being, doing both the benefit of self and others, which is called the two benefits. So, unlike sort of imagining the light is slowly melting something solid, even though I did sort of say it that way, what I mean is more the instruction is that we imagine the heaviness of the skull to instantly, like when we snapped our fingers in the third subpractice Vigrita, it instantly becomes transparent and weightless and not solid. It's gone in a sense. However, resting in that with the light shining out from our head like a lamp of compassion, that's what actually helps undo the unconscious solidification. So we don't hold an idea that it's solid and try to melt that, because that's one of these funny things. We would be fighting our own imaginative powers there. We would be believing in the solidity and then trying to melt it, which would be like putting on the gas and the brake at the same time. So, however, I've switched between the subjective and the objective. The subjective experiences, it's already transparent and we're shining the light. The objective truth over time is that resting in this way, we are accruing a kind of durational familiarity and melting that lessens the arising of the heaviness of the mental image and gives us a greater sense of intelligence, spaciousness, and clarity, free from unconscious solidification. The light shining out is going in all directions naturally without trying to think about it. It just shines. We feel it. And we feel it can reach any who would be open and to all in case it might be helpful. quite literally, one could be thought of as making oneself brighter. You can feel that quality of increasing one's prajna and compassion of this kind, this precision. It leads to clear seeing, and that kind of clear seeing and intelligent perspective always brings about. It's how we can look and know what to do, or at least have a more informed perspective about what we might do. Okay. Let's dedicate the merit. All you sentient beings, I have a good or bad connection with. As soon as you have left this confused dimension, may you be home in the western Sukhavati. And once you're born, complete the Bhumi. Yay! Hey, Maho! Sparkling flowers, Susan.
Hey, Maho.
See you both. Love you.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Janet.
Thanks. Have a great day. Love you.